Good evening, YouTube. I'm here tonight to give you a little demo of a program I have on my computer here. I think I mentioned it before. It's called Locomotion. I thought maybe George might get a kick out of this, Shade Tree Railroad Man. I don't know that he may have seen this. I don't know. It's a very kind of popular game for those train enthusiasts out there. So if anybody's interested, you can watch this. It's just a quick run through some of the features of the game. A little background first. Locomotion came about as a result of a little program called Transport Tycoon. That was the first rendition of it. Then there came Transport Tycoon Deluxe, and after that came Locomotion. Locomotion is the last in the series. There was an attempt, and I don't know if it's even still active or not, but there's an attempt to do an open type of game called Open Transport Tycoon. I think it's what it's called. I don't think the graphics are as good as Locomotion. Locomotion's, it's not too bad graphics, and it's very playable. So without too much of a further intro, it's alright. This is the game is from Atari and Chris Sawyer, and basically you start out with a new game, and once you select that, you can choose your location from I don't know, 3 different ones on the beginner level. The Breaker Boulders is the one that shows here. It's just a simple island. This is one of the easiest ones to do. You have certain things that your railroad is designed to do, as far as taking certain products from a location to another location. This one has a coal mine, an iron ore mine, a steel mill, and a factory. Now those are pretty logical in how they're what they're doing here is setting up the name of the owner, and they're putting the owner's transport office a certain place. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. You can just play the game. But there's the iron ore, there's the steel mill, there's the factory. And like I said, this is one of the towns, and this is actually the largest town. What they're doing now is setting up a bus type thing for this inner city here. They're going to use you can use buses, trucks, and airplanes, and helicopters, and trains in this game. This starts out in 1925. Yeah, 1925. I think that can be adjusted too, if not in the beginner level, on the advanced levels. You can set what time frame you want. So you've got a bus route now set up. They've got two stops, it looks like, and the bus goes around, picks up the passengers, and makes money. Obviously, that's the object of the game. Obviously, is to make money. This is a simulation, a transport type simulation. So okay, somebody set a new land speed record, 12 miles an hour between stops. So that will pop up every once in a while, and you'll hear that little noise comes up. But there's another notification, whatever you call it. All right, there's that's the coal mine, and again there's the iron ore mine. So what you want to do is set that up to where you can go into or take your stuff, raw materials, to the steel mill, and then once the steel's produced, it goes to the factory. So that's where you're going to use your railroad lines at, and that's about the best thing to do on this island, is set up at least a couple going from the coal mine to the steel mill, a couple from the iron ore mine to the steel mill, get plenty of raw materials over to the steel mill, and it'll start producing steel, and then you can run a line over to the factory with another train, and Another notification there, and you know what I'm saying. And there's your stations. You have to put stations in to be able to load and unload. And so that's what they're doing here. Is they're setting up a railroad line to the coal mine to deliver coal to the steel mill. And that's a good deal because you're going to make money off of it. Now, everybody has their own way of doing stuff like this, but what I generally do on this island, and I'm going to pause it right here just for a second, is what I generally do on this island is first thing I do, because I've played this scenario several times, first thing I do is have enough, you can get loans from the bank and get enough money to build an elevated train line, railroad tracks, from one city to the other. In other words, there's 3 cities here, so you basically make a big circle. And I do that because later on, with your buses running in each city, they generate a lot of passengers, and passengers want to go from one city to the other city, so the best way to do that is by train. So eventually you can start it off pretty reasonably. You can just start off with maybe one passenger car and but mail car and passenger car is what I generally put on that train. It goes around in circles, basically. It goes from one city to the other. And I do that first because if you wait until you've all got the rest of the stuff set up, it's a lot harder to build that elevated line. And the elevated line is the only way to go when you do that, because it's just much easier to do to get over things than it is to try to build through them sometimes. Because a lot of times on this this game, the local authority, which is the city, won't let you put a line this here or there or something like that. And generally, if you do that right off the bat, you can put them anywhere you want. So let me go ahead and keep up with this demo here. Okay, they're basically building a train here. The Baldwin 280 is the locomotive, and it's got several wagons on it. And then you place the train, and it will run, unless you specifically design a route for this train, it will just run between the 2 stations, and whatever is there to pick up, it will pick up, and it gets to the other one, it'll drop it off. But they're doing the route right there. That's the way you're supposed to do it, because this way you wait for a full load at the coal mine, and then once it comes in, you take that full load to the steel mill and unload all your coal. That's to make the maximum potential of your railroad there, so you can get the most money. Now, another thing of aspect of this is maintenance on the trains and the buses, trucks, and everything like that. There are settings that you can change to do more maintenance, less maintenance, and things like that. And it's telling you now I don't see that little floating. That's here how much money you just made there, and it will pop up each time. And of course, the workers are celebrating the first coals delivered to the steel mill. So anyway, that's how you do that. And now they're going to go over here and build one, looks like to me, to the iron ore, because in order to make steel, you have to have coal and iron ore. So that's what they're doing here. They're going to make a line from the iron ore mine to the steel mill to add that to it. Then once you do that, you will be able to make steel, and then you can, like I said, run a line over to the factory to deliver your steel over there. Now, like I said, this is all pretty simple. So you basically, again, you're delivering the products from one to the other. You're going to use the same station to do both. I don't like doing that because I have too many problems with collisions. Believe me, you do have collisions on these things, and the trains will explode. It's pretty realistic, I mean, as far as the graphics are concerned. So they put in signals for this, which is, you know, the normal thing to do. I don't like doing, again, like I like to have a dedicated line for each train, and that way you get more income potential, and it just makes more sense. So they're going to build another train don't know why they're seeing how much money. Oh, they're down to red now, so you've only got so much money that you can work with unless you borrow money. So they've got enough to where they can build a pretty rudimentary train and have it ready to go. And again, they're going to put the route. They put the route to the Beachtown mines and wait for a full load. That's the way to do it. And then you stop at the Breakers Bridge and unload all the iron ore. That's simple. But like I said, once that's done, you have to place the train, and you always want to make it so it's either coming into the station or something like that, so it doesn't have to run an empty load over to the other place. So it'll come in, wait for its load, and load up and then go. So there it's got a full load already. So it automatically turns around. You don't have to worry about that. But like I said, this will come over, and then once this happens, they will be able to produce steel. And again, like I said, they will, start. They're going to need another train, obviously, to deliver the steel over to the factory. I see that train, if it waits there long enough, eventually it will turn around and go back to the coal mine, which that's, like I said, that's time waste, and not to mention money waste and everything else. But in this case, it worked out all right. So, like I said, they'll deliver the coal, and again, I'll be making steel. So the next thing you want to do is, well, you can see the steel down there. I don't know if you can see it. Another notification. Maybe as soon as this, see the little rolls of steel over on the other side of the station there, they're just sort of sitting there. That's steel waiting to be picked up to be delivered to the factory. So, like I said, this is an interesting game, and I have played this thing for hours on end. Just sit there and run these trains back and forth, and they have problems, they break down, then you have to get them fixed. As the time goes on, newer engines or locomotives are designed, and they're added to your list that you can go to, and it goes all the way up through well above the 2000s, I believe. Now this train here is going to be a short one because the trains that they've got running to the steel mill just can't provide that much steel. So generally, there's probably only one flat car. And he's checking money again. Oh, he's getting a little increase in money so he can have plenty of stuff to design a new train. So he's building another train here. He's using the special for this, the 242. He's using flatbed wagon. And I think what else is he running here? Oh, he's putting 3 flatbeds on it. So that's going to be a bad design to me, because it's not going to be able to keep up. The train will be sitting there at the station waiting for iron or for steel, because the more they sit there and wait, it seems like the more they need maintenance on them and stuff like that. So, but we'll see what happens here. Okay, you have a challenge to begin with, and obviously this user has completed his challenge. You get a promotion, man. So there we go. We're moving the steel over to the factory now, and you get paid for that, obviously, too. So it works out pretty good. A lot of times, what I'll do is to begin with, I'll take a truck and I'll run a road over to the. You can make roads as well as railroads. You can, and I'll make that over to the from the steel mill to the factory, and just use trucks to begin with, because trucks will keep up with that pretty easy. So, like I said, right now there's enough steel, but as soon as it's already gone out. But like I said, you can see it's a pretty interesting game, and like I say, I just thought I would put that up for George. Anybody else that's interested, but you can't find this. I don't think you might be able to buy this from Atari. I'm not sure online, but I know you can get it on places like eBay and things like that. It's usually pretty reasonable. It's an older game, but like I said, it will run under Windows 7, and it's not a bad little game, I don't think, anyway. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that to you today, and for anybody that's interested, and it's a time waster, I'll tell you what. If you if you get started on it, it will take your time, and you just lose track of time completely trying to play this game. But it's out there, and so I guess that's about all I have for now. Thanks for watching.